So between the period of 2018 and 2019, there's been like at least 40,000 cases recorded in South Africa, which makes an average of 114 rape cases a day, making the society not being a safe place for children and women as well. So we need to create a better society. As men, as people, we need to have humanity. Welcome to the KM Talk Show with your host, Kevin Makhosi. And today we are hosting the phenomenal woman, Naomi M. She has a foundation, the Naomi M Foundation, which helps victims who have been abused, like from rape, sexual abuse, and etc. Welcome, Naomi.
Thank you for having me on the show, Calvin.
Thank you. So we have like the stigma of sexual abuse, right? From rape and etc., which has actually caused a lot of depression in the society, like a lot of damages. We have lost a lot of souls. So I would like you to actually explain to the viewers at home what sexual abuse really is.
Okay. So what sexual abuse is, it's when someone takes away your power. I always say, when someone sexually violates you, they take away your power. Okay. They take away something from you. And if you don't get it back, you lose yourself for the rest of your life. So sexual abuse is when a man forcefully forces himself into a woman.
Okay.
Sexually so, when they force themselves to have sex with them. And then sometimes not only by the actual intimacy, but by just the way you're looking at her, you make her feel uncomfortable, that's still sexual abuse, because now you're making me uncomfortable by the way that you're looking at me. And there's ways that where you're touching me inappropriate, and I feel like I'm not comfortable with the way this man is touching me. And it could be so many things, and most of the time, sadly, it happens in our families, with your uncles, with your cousins, your brothers, and recently, it has gone viral in churches with pastors, men of God, people that we look up to, are the ones that are actually destroying young girls and young women in churches. So, in a nutshell, sexual abuse is when somebody takes away your girl right, your power, the ability to say no, and then they still force you to do what they want to do.
So they turn your nose into yeses.
Yes.
So without going any further, I would like you to share with the viewers at home, like your story, what actually happened to you. I don't want to be the one to break it. I feel like the story will actually make a lot of sense and have the power if it's coming from you. So if you can share with them what happened, like on your story.
Okay. I'll start from the beginning.
Yeah.
I hope you've got the whole day, because
you need
to listen for 9 hours. I'm joking. So I was sexually abused when I was young. Now I lived with my grandmother, and it was just the two of, and my uncle, but my uncle was never home, so I would not count him. So we went to the same church with my grandmother. And as parents, as a mother, because she was a mother figure to me, because my parents lived here in Gauteng and I lived in the Northwest with my grandmother. So she was a mother figure to me, and there was this pastor that was a family friend. And to her, this man was like a father to me. We welcomed him, or she rather welcomed him into the family as one of our own, And whenever she was not home, she would tell him that I'm not home, I'm going to Gauteng, please look after my child,
Okay.
And for him, I'm thinking he saw an opportunity
to actually,
So I remember this one day where my grandmother was not at home, but I can't remember if she was this side or a church, but I know that it was just the two of us in the yard. He came to me and he said to me, can you keep a secret? And at that time, I didn't realize that what he meant was, I'm about to take away your innocence. I'm about to inflict pain in you, the pain that maybe you might never recover from. And because I looked up to him as a father, and I trusted him, of course, and I said, yeah, I can keep a secret. And sorry, he says, you can't even tell your grandmother, you can't tell your friend, but then if you tell your grandmother, I will hurt her. So the secret is very important, that you do not tell anybody. And because I loved my grandmother, And obviously I didn't want anything bad to happen to her. You know, I said, okay, it's fine, I'll keep the secret. He took me into, there was 4 rooms in the yard. He took me to one room, I still remember as if it was yesterday. And on the floor, there was a goat skin. So he made me lie on it. And then I was sitting first, and then he was kissing me. And, you know, I was not understanding what he was doing, but he was kissing me and, you know, all over me. And then he pulled my panty down and he penetrated me, and I didn't know what was happening to me then. The only thing I knew was I've never felt the pain that I felt in that room. It was cold, it was in winter. And so because it was the first time, you know, being with sexual with the man, so obviously I would bleed, and only because he's a full-grown man, I was still a child. So with my panties had blood on it, and then he said to me, we need to dig a hole so that we can hide it. Obviously my grandmother cannot see it, you know. And every time that he would rape me, we would do the same thing. We would hide the panties so that she doesn't see the bloody panties. But what I did not realize was with every panty that we hid, I was losing a piece of me. A piece of me was dying. This was for a period of 3 years. I was 8, 9, and then when I was 10, I was in grade 4. My mother came to fetch me to come live with them this side. I don't know why I was fetched that side, but I know just one December she came and she said, I want my child back. I came to live this side with my mother now and my father. But because of the abuse also that was at home, my dad was physically and emotionally abusive. And it was so hard for me to talk to my mother or talk to my father because there was already chaos in the house, and my mother was a closed book. I always say to people, we sometimes have parents that are present and yet they are absent. So my parents were present in my life, but yet they were absent because so many things happened to me, but they did not notice, they did not even pick it up. You know, my dad had a shebeen, and for the life of me till today, I don't understand what made him think that at grade 5 I'm old enough to run a shebeen. So my mom would work night shift and my dad would go out drinking somewhere, and I would be at home to run the shebeen. Now, from being raped, go zero, I came this side. Now there's this man in my father's house now, and they can see the father is not here. I'm by myself. So I found myself at the hands of these customers that came to buy booze at home. I remember one of them said to me, don't be afraid, it's going to be okay. You know, I did the same thing to your sister. You know, I'm going to teach you how to please a man. I was 11 at that time, and what does an 11-year-old know about pleasing a man? I'm not checking. I'm still a girl, I'm still a child, I'm still learning, I still need to know who I am.
Yeah.
You know, I've never even asked my sister, we've never had that conversation. I've never asked her, did he really rape you too? You know, what really happened? The sad part is this guy is my father's friend, you know. And then I remember this other incident. I was with my friend, we were playing in the house, it was late, it was just the two of us. I was selling booze via the butler. So this man came. Before this man, the pastor that used to rape me in zeros, I grew up hating sneakers because he was the first man to buy me sneakers.
Oh, so he would buy you like a present.
So he would buy my grandmother would be so happy. Oh, he loves you. But she did not know that I was paying with my body. Now this guy, as we're standing by the butler, he says to me, can you keep a secret? And in my mind I'm thinking, I've kept secret. I mean,
I've done it. So.
I've done it before. And I said, yeah, I can. And then he said to me, pull your panties down. It was so easy. I didn't even fight him. I just pulled it down. And because he was standing outside and I was inside the house, so he put his private part through the butler. And I remember the only reason he stopped was because my friend said to me, why are you so quiet? What are you doing there? Because he said to me, shh, don't make noise. So obviously now I'm following instruction, I'm not making noise, And when she said, what are you guys doing? And then I think he panicked, well, I panicked too. And he stopped, and then he gave me 20 and he said, go buy yourself the toys. Took the 20 bucks. Said to my friend, tomorrow we go. To me it was normal. I didn't think there was anything wrong with that. Even after he left, I didn't even think about it. For me it was a thing of a moment. It's normal. He's done it, then it passed, And there would be men coming in the house, they would shove their fingers and their hands in my private part, I've lost count of how many have molested me in that house, with the intention of trying to sleep with me, but because of disturbances and because of the Shebeen is busy, they were unable to actually get me to bed or penetrate me. And I grew up like that, and from a very young age, the only love that I knew, or the only thing that I knew that was attached to love, had pain attached to it, And as a young girl, because of the rape, because of everything that has happened to me was rough and there was pain, I was attracted to rough guys. I was attracted to guys that would beat me up for no reason. I was attracted to gangsters, And if you love me but aren't love, I don't understand. For me, you were less of a man, And I remember I had a boyfriend after high school. That guy would beat me up for no reason. And I loved him for that, because he was feeding my addiction. He was feeding the only love that I know. He was giving me the only thing that I could relate to.
So they actually created like a different person in you. It's more like they contributed to the person you became. It's not who you are. Or right now, let me say it's not who you were.
I was, correct.
Like maybe who you were destined to be. They actually created that person. So like, how did these people like maybe get reported, or maybe how long did it take you to actually say the whole thing to the parents or to the police station? Did you get to report them?
So when I started talking, it was after high school. And after I got saved, this was after high school. And the first person I told was my uncle. In fact, I was doing a talk, and for some reason it ended up on his phone, and he questioned me, okay, so I saw something like this, what happened? Now I told him the whole story from A to Z, I explained to him, okay, 1, 2, 3 happened, and he was the person that knew. My parents never knew. My parents only knew this here, right? Now, the reason why I've never told my parents is because my mother is, she's a, when you tell her something, growing up I was never allowed to feel. Whenever I would say to her, Mama, I'm sick, she would say, yeah, don't tell me you're sick. You want me to die of a heart attack. So I was never allowed to feel or talk about my feelings and how I feel. So I knew me telling them was pointless. But I remember this year after my uncle said to me, I told them the very same day, that little girl in me wanted my dad or my mother to say, are you okay? We had your uncle say, but till today nothing. We've never, he told them, we've never touched that topic. And so my uncle found out recently that the man is still alive. So I'm actually in a journey. If not this coming week or that other week, I'm going to see him. Now there's the pastor that was raping me in Zeros. So yeah. But yeah, my parents we've never sat down like this. They've never even asked, are you okay? Or ask my uncle, ask her if she's okay, if there's something that she needs from us, So my uncle has always been the one that I can talk to and say, dude, this is what is happening.
It's actually a very sad story. So like we know, like lately, there have been like so many cases, right? of which, like we say, it's an average of 114 rape cases every day, which means we have like a lot of victims each and every day. What would you love to tell that victim at home, like about the situation they are facing right now? What can they do about it?
I think the worst thing that can ever happen to a victim, which is happening a lot in our society, is that you're lying and making this up. Why didn't you tell us the very same time when it happened? You know, so some of them are scared to speak because they fear rejection. Some of them, they can't speak because their perpetrators has promised them that, you know what, if you speak, I'm gonna kill you. Most of them they don't want to speak because they feel it's useless. I mean, the government has failed us. The police has failed us. I mean, we've got young girls that are being raped by policemen, people that are supposed to be protecting us. So I would say to a person sitting at home that have been through the same thing, and say, you know what, girl, go claim your power. I mean, we know we cannot depend on justice. It only, I mean, up to a certain level they can help you or not help you at all. But you must remember that it's your life. You know, I always say, learn to dance in the rain. It will not rain forever. Eventually the rainbow will come. So you might be in that situation and thinking this is the end of me. You might be thinking maybe let me end my life. But there's a reason why you went through what you went through. You know, if God could come down himself and do everything that we go through, then we'll not be able to learn from one another. So our purpose and our stories and everything that happens in our lives is for us to be able to help others. It's for us to give others hope. Whatever happened in my life, I believe that it's for us, for God to say, I cannot come down and do it myself. But I'm going to use you so that you can be my instrument of hope, my instrument, you know, of faith and healing. You know, so yeah, nothing just happens. Everything happens for a reason.
So, like, you ended up like establishing Naomi M Foundation, like where you're helping victims. What other services do you offer like on this foundation?
Okay, so on Naomi M, when it started as Miss Kagiso, because when I started, there was that young girl in me that still needed attention, that young girl that was never loved, that young girl that was rejected so many times. And I was like, there's probably a girl like that out there. So when I started Miss Kagiso, was to get all these young girls around me so that I can mentor them, so that I can talk to them, so that I can, you know, try and equip them and, you know, change them into better young people. And as the journey continued, I think this was now 2 years back when I started Naomi M Foundation, because at first it was called You're Not Alone, and then it changes to Naomi M Foundation. And then I saw a gap while I was busy, you know, mentoring these young girls, trying to change their lives, and I was like, but who's mentoring a boy child? Who's teaching a boy not to rape a girl? Who's teaching a boy how to take care of a female, you know? And now I started Mr. Kagiso. So what we try to do is we say, there's a reason why someone rapes. Yeah. I'm not justifying their actions, but I'm saying, as a boy, you don't dream of becoming a rapist. You don't dream of killing people. But something along the way happens that gives birth to that. And as a society, as a country, as the government and everyone else, we're focusing on the problem. The problem is there is rape. But we're not going to the root cause to say, okay, what causes this, you know? And I think most men are dying because men are taught to be strong, men are taught to be tough, men are taught not to show emotions. But no one is teaching boys, if I'm emotional, what do I do with those emotions? If I'm angry, how do I now behave, you know? So if we can bridge this imbalance in mentoring a boy child and a girl child, then as a nation we're going somewhere. But at the moment we're not going anywhere, because even our government don't believe in our men. And we can do 50 seminars a day, we can give them sanitary pads, we can give them the whole, you know, everything. There will always be a boy that's gonna rape her, a boy that's gonna abuse her, a boy that's gonna do something to her, because no one takes care of a boy.
So, and in marriages, like a lot of ladies are getting raped from time to time, like almost every time, if I could say. But many wives don't report those cases. What gives like men the power to rape like women in
it's
marriages?
Not even men, it's the society. Because when you leave a kaya, they tell you you must respect
Like
your husband. When you're angry from here up there, then from there up there. You don't get angry there.
Like it doesn't get to the bedroom and stuff.
You get what I'm trying to, but the thing is, for me to be with you as my husband, there's emotions involved.
You need to connect.
I need to connect. I need to be able to offer myself. You're not supposed to take. I'm not some flower that's sitting so that you can just take and do whatever you want. We should be in one accord. We should be in one page. It should be an agreement. But because these men are told, no, she can deny you everything, but not that. You've paid lobola. You see the lobola issue comes there. Paid lobola, it's your right, it's your 1, 2, 3, and some women shame. They just sit there and allow it to shame. He married me. He's not all, and we make excuses for it. He's not always this bad. It's just that when I don't want to give him, but I know shame. It's his, and plus he's my husband. There's no plus he's my husband. Rape is rape. No, it's no.
It doesn't.
We need to normalize saying no, and people need to understand when I say no, I mean exactly no.
Because lately I saw during this COVID lockdown, there's been a lot of actually cases which are recorded. What could have caused those cases throughout this lockdown?
You must remember now, we stuck with our abusers in one places. If, for example, my husband is abusing me, I'm stuck with him. It's been how many days? 140 something, right? And if an uncle is not working, the siblings there, their mothers are not there. When you sit here, I always say if you don't keep your mind busy, you will start seeing things that you're not supposed to be seeing. And once you start seeing things that you're not supposed to be seeing, you start wanting to act on them. And once you act on them, that small decision that you make becomes a habit. And then you're gonna, for example, sleep with your niece. And you tell them not to tell, and you see they don't tell, you're gonna try it again. Then you see they don't tell, then it becomes a habit. And some have been doing it, but nowadays has become more because now they do it every day. So it's the economy itself, is their frustration. People don't know what to do with themselves. It's not an excuse, but depending on the environment they are in, depending on their mindset, depending on their the foundation of their thinking. If they sit and thinking, I can actually sleep with this, because some men, they find their satisfaction in weird things. You could be sitting and thinking, if I can sleep with 5 children, to him it does something to his mind. I call them sick people. They are sick individuals. So we've got sick individuals in our society that are stuck with our children in their homes, and our children find themselves at the hands of these men.
So what are the challenges that you're facing in your organization, in your foundation? When helping these kids?
The thing is they would speak, and I think most of them, what they have in common is they don't believe me at home. Or some will say they never believed me at first. In most cases, these kids try and kill themselves. Only then it's an alert to the parent at the moment. Maybe then there's some truth to this, but sadly something they just need attention. This one just wants attention. It did not, and denial. I always say, if I come to you and say 1, 2, 3 has happened, your reaction is based on your experience with life, your foundation of thinking. I might come to you and say, your father, this is your father raped me. It will depend on how you were raised. You can say to me, you're lying. Or you can actually be embarrassed and say, not my father. Now you're trying to protect your father, to say no. You might think me, I'm telling the truth, that because of you loved your father for whatever reason, you would protect his image with whatever it takes, and you forget that let's stand for the truth. Yes, you love your father, but if your father has done something wrong, do not support the wrong. Support your father, not the act.
So what can the government do to actually lower the cases of this stigma of rape? You
see, the government is not doing anything right, and I'm starting to to not believe in my government anymore. I will tell you what. You see, there was, I think 2-3 weeks back, if not last month, I can't remember correctly, there was a body, or there was bodies actually at that time, of young women that were found dead somewhere in the field. And then, everybody was wearing black, everybody was, let's go to let's go to Lutulia. Even the president himself stood there and said, I'm not, what did he say? Sorry, he said he is sad about what the men are doing in South Africa, and that was it, right? So the problem is we are not managing this proactively. We are reactive to the situation. So because no one is training on social media that they were raped or killed,
just
silence until we see another body. So if we can try, or rather the government can every day find solutions, sit in boardrooms like they sit in parliament while they try and fight COVID, have the same energy to say, how can we help our men? Where is the problem? How can we help these women? But actually, there's no dead body. If there's no one that's reporting a rape case, and rape happens every day, that's sad. But they only want to see those that are trending on social media, and then they want to try and do something. As I'm speaking to you now, someone has been sexually abused.
It's a very sad thing. Honestly, actually, there are many souls we are losing every day. Some, they are depressed, and in the black society, depression is not taken seriously. If you are depressed, they're like, you'll be okay, or she'll be okay, things like those. And some end up committing suicide. So what is it like that as a country, how can we be educated on living with victims? Because we have so many victims every day. Like the states, they are saying it's at least 114 every day who are getting raped. So how can we as a society get educated on how to live with victims? How can we treat victims? How can we live with them?
Okay, number one, I think we also need to understand that victims are not the same. You will find a person that has been raped 5 times, and you'll find a person that has that had one attempt, not rape. But this person that had one attempt is falling apart. It depends on the foundation, her upbringing, wherever she finds her strength. And the one that has been raped 5 times, you find that she's doing okay. It depends on how they see the circumstances and how they have accepted the circumstances. Fear on its own already.
Yeah.
The fact that someone almost raped you is they've actually raped you, and when as a person you say, but they didn't rape you. Why are you being so dramatic?
Oh yeah.
You see, so we need to try and understand the society that whether it happened, physically or someone tried to, we should treat these people, and we must understand that they are not all of them. Upstairs, they've got mood swings. 1, 2, 3, they are happy. 1, 2, 3, they're moody. 1, 2, 3, they want to be alone. So accommodate them. They're not seeking attention. They're going through a roller coaster of emotions. The body's also trying to make sense of what happened to them. Mentally they're not sure of the future. Mentally they're scared of all men. There's just so many things. And some people get upset, and when you behave in a certain way. I remember this one time my dad had I'm raising a daughter. My father had my child. They were playing, and the next minute when I turned around, my daughter was sitting on my father. At that moment, I did not see my father. I saw a man. Can you imagine if I said to my dad, what are you doing to my child? And at that time, I was not confronting him. I was confronting the thought. For that moment, I went 14, 20 years back into my mind, it's going just someone.
There's no longer that trust in
you can never trust any man. And especially when you're raising a daughter, you want to know where she is she's safe. Like my daughter, I was laughing there. I'm like, if I don't see her, I want to see her when she's playing. If I don't see her, I get annoyed, But I think God is helping her, because I said, Lord, help me not to be too clingy, because it's very dangerous also, because I'm not going to allow that child to live her life, because I would want to police her. I would want to be wherever she goes. So
she won't understand.
I said, grant me the grace and the wisdom and the strength, and let me know how to raise this child.
I love the fact that you're making an effort to actually help the society, to help the victims. But how can they get hold of your foundation? Where can they actually talk to you or reach out?
Okay, we've got a website. It's Naomi M Foundation. We've got a Facebook page also. It's Naomi M Foundation. And then you'll find all my contact numbers on our website. And yeah.
Can you share with the viewers how the incidents contributed to maybe the bad health parts of you? How do they actually damage you health-wise?
Okay. So number one, when women go into their periods monthly, they normally get the pains on their abdominal.
Yeah, so
mine is somewhere here because of all those rapes. My organs and everything moved around. When I wanted to conceive, when I wanted to have a baby, I went to 7 gynecologists. I had 7 operations, and they told me I must forget, I will never have children, And I think in 2015 I was referred to a gynecologist in Pretoria, and when I got there, she said to me, we have never seen anything like that. And then I had 2 scans. She had 2 scans rather, so she showed me how a normal woman looks in the inside. And then the other scan that she had, it looked like, when a cow has just eaten something. And before she told me it was mine, I laughed. I said,
what's this?
What the hell is that? So that's how messed up my system is. So on all the 7 operations that I did, no doctor could get to my womb. And my last gynae said to me, we stopped cutting because we were not sure what we were cutting anymore. Because nothing looks like what we have ever seen in our, medical history. And I went to Dr. Singh. Dr. Singh said, come with all your medical reports. I gave him a medical report. She said to me, I need to do my own test before we can start. Okay, I did IVF. IVF is and it's expensive. I remember one doctor said to me, 65,000 upfront, no guarantees. I didn't have money.
No guarantees it's gonna work or...
Yeah, it's up to you, but it's 65,000 upfront. I went to Dr. Singh, and while she was trying to see how damaged I am, and then they said to me I need to do a show because both my tubes are blocked. However, the other one, it's swollen. There's a liquid apparently that comes out of that, so they had to tie the tubes permanently. So they put 2 strings, it's called a show, that they need to put so that they can tie both tubes, and then it takes 3 to 4 months before that process is completed. Then I needed to go back so that they can check everything is fine. So when I went back for a checkup, so they don't put you on any injection medication because it's just a checkup. So, but while they were checking, she said to me, there's something growing in your womb. And because I'm already here, I need to cut it. Have you ever felt someone cutting you? And I think I felt the first cut and my body just couldn't feel anything anymore. I think it died. Then I did that, and I did IVF. But there it's cheaper. There you paid installments, so it was successful by the grace of God. But because of everything, and my womb, it's open, so it doesn't close. So my daughter almost fell twice into the toilet. That's why I had to take her out at 5 months because it was too risky, So yeah, that's how it has affected me as a woman. So I can't conceive natural like other women. I'm permanently blocked. So if I need a baby, I need to go through the same process again. And it's a 4 weeks to 6 weeks process. You need to buy, there's an injection that I use, so I need to inject myself 2 times a day. One injection is 470. So the process is also expensive. So from what happened to me back then is still affecting me today. Because now, it's, whatever they did, I cannot reverse it. Yeah, and it's also costing me now financially. And you can imagine if I need to pay, I need to remember that I'm paying because of what those men did.
So throughout all these operations, like you were the one who was responsible, like financially, no one helped you, not even an organization or government or either way?
I did it on my own. Yes. That's correct.
Okay. Actually, thanks a lot for joining us on the show today. It's been like an honor, having you come share your story. Actually, I know it's gonna help someone who's out there, someone listening, someone who is going through something like that, or someone who's gonna help someone like a victim, or if I can say. Yeah, it's been really an honor. We hope that as men as children who are getting like maybe into such like incidents can actually contact and get the help they need. Yeah, so thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Okay. It's been really a good show. I hope you at home learned how to live with the victim, how to actually help them, or maybe contribute to making a great society, because right now we have lost a lot of souls. We have so many people who are dying there and we don't know. So until next time, stay tuned and make sure to subscribe on Mapunga TV across all social medias, and make sure to turn that notifications so you can hear of anything we post as soon as we post it. Thank you. It's Kevin Makhosi signing out.
Step up for me, you just wanna make me feel. You've been out here with me since from day one. When everybody backstabbed me, you stood up for me. You still here because it's all about my heart. I hate you many times, you still forgive me. Me being on my worst, you still at your best. All this shining, I've never been good to you, but we don't know what tomorrow might bring. So I might love you today like tomorrow never comes, never comes. I feel lost, but your heart said yes. I hate you, but you still say yes. I'm all yours now. Ooh. Come with me, go higher. When I'm smoking my trees, we go higher. I'm all yours now. I'm all yours now. You still love me even though you ain't getting any love from me. I said some shit, I know I take it all back. Just know you're right, you can have myself. Ain't gonna hide what I feel inside me. Ain't gonna hide what I feel inside me. I feel that inside me. You're the reason why I wanna leave. Just let me love it till the morning, baby. Come a little closer. I hope you believe in us, girl. Hope you still do. Okay, I'm going back. Okay, I'm going back to fix it on back, yeah. Ooh. But we don't know what tomorrow might bring. So I might love you today like tomorrow never comes, never comes. I feel lost, but your heart said yes. I hate you, but you still say yes. I'm all yours now. Ooh. Come with me, go higher. When I'm smoking my trees, we go higher. I'm all yours now. I'm all yours.